Beneath a busy shopping center in Croatia, archaeologists uncovered over 3,000 Roman graves. In Mexico, a stone altar stained with the remains of the decapitated. And across the Middle East, dozens of mysterious stone circles, hiding in plain sight for millennia, are forcing experts to rewrite the timeline of human civilization entirely. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is where history stops being boring and starts being terrifying. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like if you love real archaeology, and stick around, because what you're about to hear is completely verifiably true. On the sun-soaked Dalmatian coast of Croatia sits Zadar, a city so old it predates the Roman Empire itself, with continuous human settlement stretching back over 3,000 years. Tourists walk its marble streets, drink coffee in its piazzas, and shop in its modern centers, completely unaware of what lies directly beneath their feet. Zadar has always been known to archaeologists as a site of immense historical significance. The Romans called it el-Hiri. It became one of their most prized outposts on the eastern Adriatic. But the true scale of what the Romans left behind, specifically where they buried their dead, had been grossly underestimated for generations. Research into the Necropolis dates back to the 19th century, but it is only through sustained modern excavation and geophysical surveys that the full picture has started to emerge. And what it reveals is staggering. Directly beneath Zadar's commercial buildings, residential zones, public institutions, and a functioning shopping center lies a Roman necropolis containing more than 3,000 graves, used continuously for nearly 5 centuries. 5 centuries of the dead. This is not a forgotten ruin on the edge of town. This is a burial city woven into the very foundation of a living, breathing modern metropolis. Some of the graves were found during routine construction work, a pipe being laid, a foundation being dug, when workers struck ancient stone and bone. Others have been methodically uncovered through careful archaeological survey. Each new layer reveals another chapter of Roman Zadar. Its citizens, its soldiers, its children, its elite, all resting where a supermarket now stands. The necropolis spans multiple periods of Roman occupation, reflecting shifts in burial customs across centuries. Early cremation burials give way to inhumation as Roman religious practices evolved. Grave goods, pottery, coins, jewelry, oil lamps paint intimate portraits of individuals who lived and died in a world that no longer exists above them, yet somehow still exists below. What makes this discovery scientifically extraordinary is not just its size, but its continuity and its concealment. Archaeologists have noted that the necropolis represents one of the largest and best-preserved Roman burial complexes in the entire Adriatic region. And yet it remains substantially hidden, not in a desert, not under volcanic ash, but under a modern European city with running water and Wi-Fi. Experts are now debating the full extent of the site. Current surveys suggest the boundaries of the necropolis have not yet been fully mapped. There may be more, much more, still undiscovered beneath streets that thousands of people walk every single day. Some researchers argue that understanding the full layout of this necropolis could fundamentally reshape what we know about the population size, social structure, and religious evolution of Roman el-Hiri. This discovery matters because it shatters a comfortable assumption that we've already found what there is to find. Zadar is not an uninhabited ruin. It is a living city, continuously occupied for millennia. And yet history was hiding right underneath it. If a necropolis of this scale can go substantially unmapped beneath a modern Croatian city, the question becomes, what else are we standing on without knowing it? In the rugged basalt landscape of the Golan Heights, near the Syrian-Israeli border, there's an ancient stone monument called el-Hiri. It has been studied for decades, a mysterious, massive circular structure whose purpose has puzzled archaeologists for generations. Some believe it was an astronomical calendar, others a ritual site, others a monument to the dead. No one agrees. But here's what researchers assumed. El-Hiri was an anomaly, a one-off. a strange outlier in an otherwise ordinary landscape. That assumption just collapsed. Using a combination of high-resolution satellite imagery, artificial intelligence, and geophysical modeling, an international research team scanned the landscape around el-Hiri and found something that stopped them cold. Within a 25-kilometer radius alone, they identified more than 30 large, circular stone structures, most of them never documented before, never studied, never named, just sitting there quietly in the basalt, waiting to be seen. Published in the peer-reviewed journal PLOS 1 in March 2026, the study revealed that el-Hiri is not an anomaly at all. It is part of a vast, previously unrecognized network of ancient stone monuments stretching across the region, built by people whose names we do not know, for reasons we still cannot fully explain. Many of these circles are enormous, some rivaling el-Hiri itself in scale. They are aligned in ways that suggest deliberate, coordinated construction, and they are old, very old, dating tentatively to the Chalcolithic or early Bronze Age. These structures were erected by communities that archaeology had previously considered too primitive, too disorganized to undertake such monumental, landscape-scale building projects. Researchers are now arguing that the Middle East's prehistoric past has been dramatically underestimated. The discoveries suggest the existence of what they describe as a shared cultural or ritual tradition, a worldview, perhaps, expressed in stone, that connected communities across a wide geographic region thousands of years ago. There are competing theories. Some scholars believe the circles served astronomical purposes, tracking celestial events tied to agriculture and seasons. Others point to their association with burial sites, suggesting deep ritual or religious significance. A third camp argues they were territorial markers, visible, permanent declarations of presence and power carved into the landscape. What all experts agree on is this. The scale of this network means we're dealing not with isolated acts of construction, but with an organized, sophisticated, and widespread tradition that civilization had nearly forgotten entirely. This discovery forces a fundamental reassessment of who these ancient people were. The comfortable narrative that complexity in monument building emerged gradually in specific famous places at specific famous times is now under serious pressure. The people of the prehistoric Levant were building coordinated, large-scale, deliberately designed structures across hundreds of kilometers of landscape. They were organized. They were intentional. They were more than we gave them credit for. About 55 miles north of Mexico City, in the state of Hidalgo, lie the ruins of Tula, once the beating heart of the Toltec Empire. At its peak, between 900 and 1150 CE, Tula was one of the most powerful cities in Mesoamerica, a civilization that cast a long cultural shadow over even the later Aztec Empire. The Aztecs revered the Toltecs, called them the originators of civilization, art, and knowledge. They didn't mention everything. In March 2026, during excavation work for a transportation infrastructure project near the Tula Archaeological Zone, workers and archaeologists uncovered a square stone altar more than 1,000 years old. It was a Toltec sacrificial altar, and it did not come alone. On 3 sides of the altar's lower level, human skeletal remains were found carefully arranged as offerings. For skulls, long bones, likely femurs, and one skull that appeared to still be partially attached to its spine, strongly suggesting decapitation. These were not accidental deaths. They were not war casualties dumped and forgotten. They were offerings placed with intention, with ritual, with ceremony, around a stone altar built to receive them. Reported by Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, the find was made in a location that suggests this altar may have marked a significant boundary or sacred threshold near the ancient city's ceremonial core. Archaeologists are carefully examining not just the remains themselves, but their arrangement. The deliberate placement of skulls and long bones on 3 sides of the altar reflects a ritual pattern seen in other Mesoamerican contexts, a cosmological logic in which human sacrifice was not cruelty for cruelty's sake, but a transaction with the divine. Life offered to sustain the cosmos. Blood given so the sun would rise. Researchers are now working to determine whether these individuals were warriors captured in conflict, a common source of sacrificial victims in Mesoamerican cultures, or whether they held some other ritual significance. Isotope analysis of the bones may eventually reveal where these individuals were born, what they ate, and whether they came from Tula itself or from distant communities. Debates continue over the full ceremonial function of this specific altar and its relationship to the broader ritual landscape of Tula. This altar confirms what archaeology has long suspected but rarely found so viscerally. That Toltec civilization, like many great civilizations, operated within a worldview in which life and death, power and sacrifice, were inextricably intertwined. It also reminds us that the infrastructure of the modern world, roads, pipes, transit systems, continues to cut through layers of history, accidentally returning what the earth has been keeping. Every excavation is a conversation with the dead, and the dead, it turns out, still have a great deal to say. Here's what we want to know. Which of these discoveries disturbs you the most, and why? Is it the idea of thousands of Roman graves beneath a city where people are living and shopping right now? The stone circles that suggest a vast, organized, prehistoric culture we knew almost nothing about? Or the Toltec altar, with its skulls still arranged exactly as ancient hands placed them over 1,000 years ago? Tell us in the comments. We genuinely read every single one. If this video made you see the ground beneath your feet a little differently, that's exactly what we're here for. Real history is stranger, darker, and more magnificent than anything anyone could invent. Subscribe so you never miss a discovery. Like the video if it earned it. Share it with someone who thinks history is boring. This will fix that. And drop your answer to today's question in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.